Oh, what is up? Hey, in today's episode of Spiritual Technologies, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to dive deep into the origins of spiritual technologies and the aspirations of this transformative journey that I've been in. And we want to discover, some of the personal challenges that have led me down this rabbit hole, right, of spiritual exploration and unveil some of the lessons and wisdoms that I've garnered over the years from seeking healing for my own personal issues and understanding how this whole thing works, right? Because that's really what it's all been about. Well, how does this all work? I don't even know, but let's learn it together. And so we're going to really explore the inception of it and the evolution of where we are, including we're going to be talking about the Healing Circle app that is in development and the Cornytopia series, which is for kids, which is really corny. We'll talk a little bit about that. And, we're also going to talk about some of the things that are on the horizon. I want to go in and say, here's what we've done. Here's what I've done. And just to kind of give you an idea, a frame of where we're headed and how these endeavors are really helping to reshape our collective future, because the world is a little strange right now. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. And I feel that we need to foster a community dedicated to growth, healing, prosperity, right? And so utilizing tools and technologies, and not only that, but interviewing amazing people who can help us on this journey. So this is your invitation to be a part of the larger vision. This is maybe a narrative of hope for you and for transformation in your own life and that collectively around those who you love, to transcend the ordinary and empower each of us to engage in the extraordinary. This is a bonus episode of Spiritual Technologies, and we're starting now.
Welcome to the Spiritual Technologies Podcast with Travis Wright, where mindfulness intersects with the cutting edge of tech. Dive into conversations with leading experts that illuminate the path to a higher self, blending spiritual insights with technological advancements. Join us in this journey of discovery and transformation.
Welcome to Spiritual Technologies. Thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate you being a part of this. And for one, I want to give a shout out to my producer, Mr. Chris Santos, who's behind the scenes making this look so beautiful. So without him, it would not look so beautiful. So thank you, Chris. And thank you all to tuning in for this particular episode. And I was thinking about, we have some amazing guests lined up, but I was like, I really want to level set and let people know where we're headed, what we're doing, and why we're doing it. So Spiritual Technologies is the company, okay? You can go check it out, spiritualtech.io. Up in the upper right corner, you can see projects. Those are some of the things that we're working on, which will show the Healing Circle. It'll show Cornytopia. It'll also have information about our podcast. As you see here, Chris is sort of scrolling through the website, and this kind of gives you an idea. If you haven't had a chance to read this, go through that, and it'll really tell what it is that we're planning on doing and what we're already in the process of doing. And so, well-being, mental health, and wellness is so important. Physical health. If you don't have good physical health, it doesn't matter how much wealth that you have, how much you've accrued in your life. It doesn't matter. And so health is the most important issue. How many friends and family do we have that maybe have bad health, right? And they need better health. And so as we're diving through, that was one of the initial things that got me started on my path. Because when I was, young and I was 16 in high school, I was working at a Hardee's, and a Hardee's, that's a fast food restaurant. And I learned that if I ate a cheeseburger and then I threw it up, I could eat another cheeseburger. And then I was like, oh my God, how many cheeseburgers can I eat? And so binging and purging was something like, I had vanity issues. I had insecurity issues. I thought I was worthless. I wasn't good enough. And I needed to be a certain way to be accepted, right, in high school. And so I had a bout with bulimia from age 16 to about 24. And then I had some sporadic bouts as I got a little bit older, but haven't had that issue for a long time because I've come to grips with, who I am. And I think a lot of younger people are under stress, especially with Instagram, and everybody has this major perfect life. They don't show how their life sucks. They only show how great their life is, right? And when I was growing up, we didn't necessarily have a lot of that, but we had the peer pressure and everything. Life had to be great. And so I did learn to lose weight, um, not just through being bulimic, which was bad, but I was doing a little bit of fasting, which I thought was probably not good then at that time, and some other things that I was doing that maybe wasn't great. But drinking lots of Diet Coke, which I do still drink a little bit of Diet Pepsi every once in a while, but I try to minimize that. But between my junior and senior year, I dropped a lot of weight. I felt great. It started surprising people because I actually started looking pretty handsome, right? I'm a super handsome guy, but I do think that I didn't do it the right way. And as a result of that, bulimia and binging and purging, I caused myself a lot of stress in my throat specifically. Like what I would do is I would like even, I notice I still do this. It's like subconscious, like lifting up my tongue to kind of get rid of my double chin. And I think I was putting stress in my tongue and then binging and purging. And I just messed up some things in my throat along the way. And so I started to figure out, hey, how can I heal this? What can I do to fix these issues that I'm having? And I ran across a nice lady named Antonia back in 2003, I think it was. And she became my Reiki teacher, right? So I thought, ooh, Reiki is really interesting. So the principle behind Reiki, which is spelled Reiki, Reiki is essentially just your normal energy that you have. You might have like a light bulb worth of energy, right? But if you get Reiki level 1, your light bulb, you might be like, whoa, a big street lamp. Whoa, you got a big street lamp worth of energy now, maybe, right? Well, then Reiki level 2 is like you have like a stadium worth of energy. You're just like, whoa, look at all this energy. And then if you go to the master level, like it's the theory is your light becomes like the sun potentially, right? Well, I got to Reiki level 2, and my Reiki master actually passed away. Antonia passed away. And so I kept doing a little bit of Reiki energy work. You use these symbols in your hands and you turn on the energy, and it's just a good meditative type of thing. You can go explore that if that's something you're interested in. And then I discovered this other thing called Huna. And there's a website I discovered. I was really early to podcasts, right? I thought podcasts were really interesting. I started my first podcast in 2006, but I discovered this thing called Huna from a website called JediTrainer.com with Pohaku. And this is basically ancient wisdom, Polynesian wisdom. And so this is from the Wayback Machine. This website doesn't exist anymore. Actually, Lucas sued him because he was using Jedi Trainer. He's like, you can't be Jedi. You can't use Jedi. And so basically, this guy's a successful businessman, he lives over there in Hawaii, and fascinating guy. Had lots of great conversation with him, but just there was this whole lesson of studying Huna from him, and Huna was completely fascinating. So I went down that particular path right there. Also went down a path of becoming a Peruvian curandero, which is the Peruvian shamanism through an organization called Heart of the Healer. And I've done all these other things, man. I've gone through, I've smoked marijuana, I've done DMT, I've done a bufo journey, psilocybin, LSD. Like I'm trying to figure out all these things, right? Have not done ayahuasca yet. That is probably something that I will need to do on down the road. But in the midst of this, I started a website called Cultivate Greatness in 2006 because I'm like, I need to get personally developed. I need to enhance my skills. I need to help learn. And so I set up this website, Cultivate Greatness, and I did over 900 blog posts around personal development, around how to be great. And really it was before Lewis Howes did his School of Greatness. He owns the term greatness now. But from 2006 to like 2008, 2009, I wrote 900 blog posts. I was writing about a blog post every day or two around something and just studying all of these books and learning all these things as much as I could. And it taught me a lot. I mean, it's like as I was learning, I want to teach it, right? I think that was a great way to do that. And then something happened. Some hacker got in through a WordPress of a vulnerability and just destroyed my whole database. And it was just like, oh man, I was devastated. And I just said, there must be a reason for this. And so I'm going to really start focusing on my marketing career. And since then, I've done a lot of things in marketing. I figured out SEO really early, paid search, mobile advertising. I figured out marketing technologies. Bought domain names really early. I tend to see things before, and then I get there and I learn it, and then I teach people about it. Yeah, as I said, marketing technology, social media. I did a social media marketing campaign on Friendster back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember Friendster. And, Google ads, Facebook ads, all these different things. And then saw the shifting of the financial system with Bitcoin really early in 2011. Mined some Bitcoin, lost the Bitcoin, was a whole other story, and just kind of kept going with it. But now I host a show called Bad Crypto Podcast with my co-host Joel Comm, and we've been doing that for almost 7 years. And so, as I've mentioned in another episode, is like I've never really shown this side of me too much. I kind of stay behind the scenes. I don't talk about my spiritual exploration. I don't talk about consciousness that much on a public lens. I've been more of a marketing guy, the crypto guy. I go down some conspiratorial rabbit holes, which I've been pretty consistent about being accurate with a lot of them. I think there's a lot of corruption that's going on with the world leaders, and I think we need to get back to a place of love. Sometimes I find myself getting a little derailed and getting a little pissed off, frankly, about some of the stuff. And I share that frustration, but then I always sort of come back with my meditations and really sort of try to figure out how to make a dent in the universe positively while I'm here. And I firmly believe this, that I am here on this universe. I am here on earth right now because I got work to do still. If I didn't have work to do on this plane of existence, I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here right now. You are here, and I am here to elevate and evolve our soul. That's why we're here. That's what I firmly believe. Regardless of which religion you believe in, whichever dogma you have been fed growing up, right? Be a good person, grow your soul, figure out as much as you can, elevate yourself, meditate, figure these things out. I'm just trying to understand what it all means, right? That's why I'm here. And so I've sort of taken that mantra of, I am here to entertain, I am here to educate, and I'm here to inspire others, and I'm here to evolve my soul, and I'm here to embrace the now. And by doing that, I think I'm able to tap in. I don't watch a lot of television. I don't. I don't play video games a whole lot. I just don't spend time doing that. And I think as a result of that, I've spent more time studying this stuff over the last 30 years than most people, I would say. I don't know for sure, but I know that I spent a lot of time doing this kind of stuff. And over time, listening, I try to listen when the universe, if you can quiet your mind, then you can get some really good stuff dropped to you. And so that's where we are. We're at the beginning of the birth of spiritual technologies. And I decided, okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and start a new podcast. Let's go ahead and build an app and let's do some things. And oh, by the way, real quick. So I want to share this one with you as well. Oneconsciousness.org. This was something that was wild. I was sitting here after Cultivate Greatness had gotten sort of hacked. I was sitting there, I was downstairs and I was meditating, and all of a sudden in my ear, I literally heard one consciousness. And I was like, one consciousness. I was like, yeah, wow, we're all one consciousness. And then it just so then I went I went to a domain site. I think I went to GoDaddy or someplace. No, I didn't go to GoDaddy. I went to some other place and bought the domain. Oneconsciousness.org was available. And I was like, oh my God, I can't even believe it. So I set up the site, and this is from the Wayback Machine right here. So it's not even all that great. It doesn't have the CSS or the design, but scroll all the way back up to the top. Chris, this is interesting. Look at this. Healing requests. This is from 2010. So I was already thinking about creating a platform, creating an app of some sort around it. This domain got stolen by a hacker because I'd used another platform. Somebody had stole it in about 10 months and took it. And then I was like, dude, are you serious? I did Cultivate Greatness, and then now two different websites, and both of them got got taken down in some way. And I was very discouraged. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to focus on my marketing. What is that from? Like 2010? Look at that, 2010. Shake loose the lazy from your soul. So I did about another 50, 60 blog posts on here. And I did a podcast on Cultivate Greatness. And so I've been exploring all this stuff, and I just kind of put it on a shelf. And I said, I'm gonna get back to this. And I've been working on some other things, and so as I mentioned, I've been in bad crypto. We've been talking about crypto for a long time. We've minted a lot of NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens, which are basically digital assets. And so there's another project that I came around to, and called ancientwisdom.com. I own ancientwisdom.com, and we're building a platform. But then the NFT market kind of crashed, and so I've held off on those. Those are a bunch of different shamans that I could do something with that. But I started thinking, and was really working with an awesome dude named Gus Artist. Follow him on Instagram, Gus Artist. He's a great dude, and so he was helping manage putting some of that stuff together. But we got some amazing art. But that just is another piece. That's another brick in the wall of saying, hey, here we are. And I have a dear friend of mine who has some trauma. She has an issue where she has some family trauma, sexually related, and it impacts her, and it's not good. And so I was thinking, like, man, what could we do to help, heal people? Everybody has some sort of trauma they're dealing with, right? We all got some issue, some from our childhood. Like my biological father, he always told me I was worthless and I was a piece of shit, essentially. And so hearing that, like, you start thinking and believing some of that stuff, and uh, I think not only our own trauma that we have a future guest coming up, Dr. Bradley Nelson, who's actually talking about the emotion code and the body code. And we are most likely inheriting energies that was never dealt with from our ancestors, right? So maybe that could go back 15, 20 generations. And so there's a lot of trauma and stuff that we have. And so what I started thinking about was, what if we create some platform or some tool that could help people? And I remember having my TV turned off like I normally do. I have this big, huge TV on my wall that's normally a big black rectangle. And I was thinking, good Lord, how much negative energy is flowing because of this? I mean, it's this big negative black hole on my wall. Like, I don't dig that. That's not awesome. And so I started thinking, I was like, what if we had a tool that basically, I love watching those like 10-hour videos or 8-hour videos on YouTube, and it's got great sound, it's got a cool visual, and it's just, or maybe it's a window into another world. And I was like, we need to maybe create something like that. And so I started building something called Healing Circle. And Healing Circle is an app that's being built. First and foremost, it's for our mobile device. And I was thinking, like, this could be really cool in AR, VR down the road, and it could be really cool for one, mobile. I was thinking of this. Most content that we have is very, ephemeral. You see it one time and then it's gone, and you never see it again. And so I was like, wow. So most content today seeks our attention, and it's most of the time it's a distraction. So what if we could create content that empowers our intention and it fuels our attraction? I think that could be really good. So you can check that out at healingcircle.io. And I created a Instagram channel for that, and I want to basically walk through the idea of how this looks. So I got an amazing app developer team now, and I wanted to make sure I got it right. So it's been kind of a slow burn, but I was testing it out, trying to figure out how I wanted the app. And if you could pull up that Instagram real quick, Chris, that'd be great. And this right here is basically how it is, and you can even turn it on. I think it's got great sound to it as well. And the idea behind it is we're going to have a video background behind it, and it's all about these inner circles. These inner circles are what is going to drive your intentions, right? What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish in your life? Who are you praying for? What are you grateful for? What are your affirmations? What are your wishes? What are you what are you proud of that you've already accomplished, right? Right. Building the synaptic connective tissue in your brain. Those synapses are so huge. The more you think about what you want, this is basically like a online sort of augmented reality vision board, so to speak, right? I think it's really where it's headed. But the goal is first on your mobile device. So instead of waking up first thing in the morning and doom scrolling and going to something that's just like, oh man, oh, look at this person's great life. How horrible is my life? Oh, look at the bad news. Oh, Biden did this or Putin did that, or oh God, Hamas, Israel. Oh, people, we get so frantic about things that are so much out of our control, right? And so what if first thing in the morning, we open up the Healing Circle app and we see our inner circles, our goals, our visions, people we're praying for, people we love, things that are bringing us good emotions, right? And then right before you go to bed, doing the same thing, and then maybe doing it again one time through the day. And the more you interact, show it again real quick, Chris, the more you interact with it, the bigger the halo will get around that inner circle. So you can actually see, like, if you interact with it every day, the halo will grow and get bigger and stronger, and badges and all kinds of fun stuff. So that right there is the goal for that is after the first season of Spiritual Technology Show, that's when we want to release that first Healing Circle app. And I think there's going to be some awesome stuff with AR and VR as well. I was thinking of the new Apple Vision Pro, and having these little circles be throughout your house as a steady reminder. I think that could be really fun. So that's Healing Circle. Next, I want to talk real quick about Cornutopia. So Cornytopia is another project that is under the umbrella of Spiritual Technologies. And Cornytopia basically is, you look at what these kids are dealing with now. They're getting all kinds of information sent at them, overtly sexualized very early, and very. I was like, oh my goodness, like when you're looking at the library time and they have drag queens reading, and I was like, wow, well maybe we should have some strippers reading to kids too. Like, no, we shouldn't. Like, I don't care if you're gay or straight or any of the 857 different genders there are now. It doesn't matter to me. Kids need to be able to be kids and just explore and be themselves. And then that information will come to them and they can make decisions when the time's right. So I thought, what we really need to do is help instill values and just help people learn how to be problem solvers, how to, critically think, and teaching love and empathy. That there's not enough empathy in the world. So Cornytopia, I've used AI to help even build these characters. And you can play that video there if you want, Chris. And in a world, I can't even read it, but yeah, here it is. Adventure awaits. Dun, dun, dun. And so magic is real. Cornytopia. And so been working on this book. I got about 6 chapters of this book complete, and I've been launching it chapter by chapter over time. And once the time is right, this will be released as a full book. And the whole point of this is to really, educate and inspire kids. And this could be a fun TV show down the road. I'm a corny guy. I like to crack jokes. If you've seen in these interviews so far, I'm a big joker. So, but I think that there's some really fun things that we can do to inspire kids and teach them the magic of the world and how to manifest and how to, be kind and be a gentle person. And so those are some of the things that I think that that this will bring as well. So there is Cornytopia. You can go check that out, cornytopia.com. The goal for that is to create and finish up that particular book as its own entity. And what I think is good, so here's basically the path, and here we are, right? Those are the things that have happened. Here it is, the journey that's brought me to this point, the journey that's brought you to this point as well. And so what I foresee happening, and the plan for this is, we're going to do season 1 of Spiritual Technologies. That's going to be 9 episodes. Amazing guests. Like, oh my God, we've already had Dr. Edward Group on. We've had Jonathan Goldman on. We have some other amazing people. As I mentioned, Dr. Bradley Nelson's coming on. David Avocado Wolf. Lynn McTaggart's coming on. They verified that they'll be on the show. I also have a few other amazing people that are coming on. Just got to get them all scheduled in the system. But the goal is, who are the top people in consciousness and spirituality that are working on cool things and talking about it and getting them on the show and interviewing them so we can gather their information and learn from them. And then as we build this out, after the first season will happen, the goal is to launch the Healing Circle app, right? Then we will launch the second season of Spiritual Technologies. During this time, Cornytopia should be close to being finished. And then we're going to take these first two seasons, the 18 episodes of these great teachers and the conversations, and we're going to distill the learnings from those and create a book called Spiritual Technologies. That's the plan. And then when that series comes out, or whenever the season 2 ends, then we want to have the TV app ready for smart TVs, so your inner circles can then just show up on your television. And from there, we want to keep going. Ideally, I'd love to be able to get this show on Gaia. I think Gaia is an amazing network. I've been to some events there at their headquarters in Colorado. They put out great content, great loving content. And I think that, my style's a little different. Like, I'm kind of a dude's dude. I'm not a super woo-woo guy, right? But I'm kind of woo-woo, but most people don't know how woo-woo I am, But I've been doing a lot of learning on this stuff, I love Nikola Tesla. He said everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. So I started thinking about, well, what is frequency? Frequency is color frequency, sound frequency. So let's include those in the healing app. Okay, sound, music. All right, group healing. Lynn McTaggart is brilliant. And she has this book called The Power of Eight. And it really inspired the idea of, let's do group meditations. Because if we can do group intention and more people are putting their intentions towards a certain thing, then that thing has a greater chance of spreading its wings because more people are focusing their energy. And think about this as we wrap this up. I think the pineal gland in the middle of your brain is probably the most important thing that most people don't understand. Obviously, our brain is important, our heart is important, but think about the pineal gland. The pineal gland sits in the very middle of the head, at the very top of the spine. And it regulates so many things, so many different peptides and amino chains and different things that make your body feel good. And it just helps you in so many ways. But most people's pineal glands are calcified. So for one, you want to learn how to decalcify your pineal gland. And then two, you realize that your pineal gland has what's called piezoelectric crystals inside your pineal gland. And most, scientists didn't know, like, what are these even for? But what ends up happening is once your pineal gland is decalcified and your piezoelectric crystals are turned on, and even the sort of Reiki energy, like, you become a huge radio tower, signal tower. And if you are activated with several other people simultaneously and all of you are sort of focused on the same thing, wow, the power is unbelievable of what you can accomplish. And so as we're building this thing out, we're going to talk about all these different elements of different technologies, different processes, different meditations, different things to think about that can help you grow personally, help you become a kinder, better person, right? And then help you help others and submit prayers for people you want to maybe pray for. And we're building that out with Healing Circle. So go to healingcircle.io and you can put your name in. When that is ready, we'll send you out an email for that. And connect with that on Instagram. I think TikTok's the same, Healing Circle IO. Twitter, Healing Circle IO. Most of the social media stuff right now is actually going out on those channels as opposed to the spiritual tech side of things. But that's really where we are. And I just want to say thank you. If you're listening right now, wow, you're probably the one. I probably bored people 20, 30 minutes ago. But I want to thank you for staying tuned to this. And this is really your show. So if you want to take any of these interviews that have popped out and you want to take a clip and share it on your social media, please feel free to do that. And I just want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of Spiritual Technologies. And as we all are growing and evolving our souls, because this little tiny butterfly effect can end up having a huge impact on not only our future, but on those that you are interacting with. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll see you next time for the real episode 3 of the Spiritual Technologies Podcast.